Hello, so this is the first of a series of videos that I will be recording about the use of Scopus. I will provide a couple of examples, and in this video I'll just go through a bunch of stuff relating to the interface of Scopus, and I'll explain what the point of it is and stuff like that. So Scopus is an article database search engine basically. So what it does is it indexes most good international journals in all languages, asks the actual journals to provide abstracts for all of them, for all papers, and basically allows users to search specific sections of any kind of academic article indexed within Scopus. And I think Scopus has about 17 million entries, so most major papers published in the last 20 years are on Scopus, and you'll find many older papers indexed in as a sort of secondary source, i.e. they are not originally part of Scopus but someone referenced them. So there's way more articles in Scopus than just those that are officially indexed. And what it allows you to do is basically search for articles in such a way that it allows you to find useful articles for yourself by anticipating and thinking about how writers, when they publish articles, how they use words, what kind of things they cite, how they name their papers, what kind of terminology they use. So basically the use of Scopus will at some point help you understand, well, firstly how to find articles, and secondly how to think about how scientists think. And we'll be working in this search field. So we'll be working with documents specifically, and we'll be working with two fields basically most of the time. So most of the time we'll be either searching through the article title, the abstract, or the keywords, or we'll be searching through the references. So I know that we're all kind of used to Google, and so when you're searching for something in Google, you can just basically ask Google a question and Google will find the answer. Google will try to interpret your terms. Scopus doesn't do that. So for example, if you want to find something about vegetarianism, then you can't just punch in vegetarianism and expect Scopus to find you anything useful, because Scopus will, if you punch in that specific word, look for instances of that specific word in any of its articles, in specifically the title, the abstract, or the keyword. So if you want to publish, if you want to find an article that deals with vegetarianism somehow, you kind of need to think, what are the words that an article that might be relevant to you will use, and will it necessarily be vegetarianism, or will it be something else? There are a couple of modifications that you can use to find something slightly more relevant. So for example, you can search for terms, but you can also search for combinations of terms. So for example, if I just punch in vegetarianism in Russia or something like that, let's just say, then Scopus will look for the incidence of these three words in any kind of order all over Scopus. It will not look for this specific combination in that specific order. It will look for those words. We can even test it by actually searching for this. I don't know whether that actually will yield anything. Let's wait until the proxy resolves. Right, and so what you can see is, yeah, Scopus found vegetarianism in the abstract and something relating to Russia, and it found a bunch of ins. It didn't find vegetarianism in Russia. It just found those combinations. Oh my god, what is this? A book review. My god. Yeah, philosophy in Russia, right? So it found in Russia, but vegetarianism is just in the context of moral vegetarianism in a completely different section. Right, so if you want to search for that exact combination of words, you'll have to put it into quotes. Go away. You'll have to put it into quotes. And so now Scopus will look for vegetarianism in Russia in that specific order, and it will find nothing, I think, because that's a very specific search term. But maybe we're lucky. I mean, I don't think so, because we found 3 in any combination, and so yeah, we'll find absolutely nothing. Secondly, if you want to find vegetarianism, then you might think, hey, an article that somehow focuses on vegetarianism and somehow deals with vegetarianism might not use the word vegetarianism, but might use the word vegetarian, right? Because maybe this is a paper that investigated the narratives of justification for healthy eating by asking vegetarians or something like that, and that might be useful to you. So what you can do is use wildcards. So instead of vegetarianism, you can use vegetar. So you can use vegetar. You can start with vegetarianism, but stop at a point and add a star. And what this will do is it will look for any kind of word or string of characters that starts with vegetar but ends with anything else. So for example, in this case it would be vegetarian, vegetarianism, vegetarianus, vegetarianism, anything, any kind of combination of those words, strings that start with vegetar. Additionally, you can use question marks. This will look for any kind of word that starts with vegetar and ends with any other kind of additional letter. This might be useful if you, for example, want to look for the word women, but instead of using woman, woman, women, you just look for this, and this will look for any kind of combination of characters within that word. So woman, woman, whoopin, any kind of combination, but not several characters. I think you might even string them together. I've never done that. I never really used the quotation mark. Secondly, you can link search queries in logical ways. So for example, if you wanted to find something about vegetarianism or something vegetarian related and something sociology related, so maybe you could search for sociological, sociologistical something. So now you're searching for any mentions of vegetarianism, vegetarians or something like that, with any mentions of sociol in both the title, abstract and keywords. In both cases you've linked them with an and you might think, hey, but I definitely don't want, so and not, I don't want Durkheim being cited by those papers. So now I'm looking for any mention of vegetarianism and any mention of sociological or something like that, and excluding any kind of references to Emil Durkheim in the reference list of that particular paper. So let's actually do that. I'm super curious. Okay, so 27 documents found something relating to that, and you can always just show all abstract and see where it found that particular word. And as you can see, for example, in this case it found the word sociological in the name of the society that published this, namely the Eastern Sociological Society. But you can also see that it found vegetarians, and it also found some mention of sociologists, right? Sociological. In this case, for example, you only find vegetarianism, but for some reason you don't find social. I'm going to open it and check. So in this case, it's in the indexed keywords. Someone tagged it as sociology. We don't really know, right? Why they did that. So let's do something else. Let's look at the 27 documents and now remove the condition that it has to not cite Durkheim. I don't know why, but if I use the incognito mode, for some stupid reason, you are thrown out of the system every now and then. That is really quite annoying. But let's just do the exact same search. Char and social, right? Social, and not look for specifically not Durkheim in the reference list. Will there even be any difference? Hey, there's a difference of one article. I'm curious now, if I go back and now require Durkheim being mentioned in the reference list, whether this will do anything. Durkheim, also spelling is quite important. Will I just find one? Yeah, I just find one. Sometimes, as you can see, you'll actually find books in the list, but most of the things indexed are articles. So here you can see Clean Living Youth, Hardcore Punk and Social Change. So it's some kind of text about social change that somehow involve vegetarianism and promiscuous sex, yet in the actual reference list cites Durkheim's Suicide, one of the most famous books. And so, for example, you found one thing that you could look for. Basically, this is how you work with Scopus on this kind of level. The whole point is to kind of think about what a researcher might name their paper when they decided to publish something on a specific topic. If they want to publish something relating to vegetarianism, will they use the word vegetarian? Not necessarily. Will they use healthy eating? Maybe, but not necessarily. And this is where logical operators within a specific search query will come in handy. So for example, here we have 3 search queries, all of them linked with and what we can now do is, for example, think of synonyms for vegetarianism. Maybe healthy eating, or let's just say veganism is the same thing as vegetarianism. Vegan, right? So now we're searching for all kinds of sort of new age eating thing, and we're linking them by logical operators, and we do that by putting them into capital form. So either of those options, and sociological, or some permutation of that, and Durkheim. Let's just think, maybe we don't just want to accept Durkheim in our reference list, but also or Weber. And we don't only want to look for sociological as the term that we want to look for. We want to look for social or socia. No, let's look at social. I'm fairly certain that this query will yield way more results, and you can guess why. But basically, the entire search process, it yielded 4 times more results. Actually, it's not actually that bad, strangely enough. So it's not that terrible as a result. But basically, the entire process of Scopus is basically putting in strings, seeing how the system interpreted them, and whether that is a meaningful interpretation for your practical purposes or not. So this is the basic overview. and in the next video we will cover this field that you see right now.